Hey guys, welcome back to Top 10 Nerd. I'm Ron Mackenzie Lafergie. Recent developments in the Captain America comics have been insanely controversial. Captain America was an agent of Hydra. Now this ticked a whole whack of fans off, and even though the story has since been clarified somewhat, it still rubs some people the wrong way. I think it's pretty cool though, and I think more people should know about it. So I've put together a list of facts about this version of Cap. As it stands, the storyline's pretty short and absurdly convoluted. Hopefully I don't just confuse you further. Also, at the time of writing this, we're up to issue 4. Now get ready. It's time for the top 10 facts about Captain Hydra. Number 10. Steve Rogers is the mother-flippin' president. Let that soak in. Really, in most other circumstances, Steve Rogers would be a pretty great president. Strong, intelligent, charismatic, and humble enough to allow others to use their expertise. Unfortunately, this version of Captain America isn't exactly looking out for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. He's in it for Hydra, and Hydra is pretty bad news. Hey, check me out, not a Trump joke in sight. I must be growing up. Unlike Trump, worth it. Number 9. It all kind of feels like an RPG. This is less of a fact and more of a thing I noticed, but this series really seems like I'm playing an RPG like D&D or Fallout. You see a bunch of exceptional people, you choose a side, you go on missions, and you try to collect enough fragments to let your side win. And I kinda like it. It'd make a pretty great tabletop campaign. The cube fragments especially help me to feel this way, with both sides scrambling and questing to find and obtain as many fragments as possible. While it's something of a trope, it helps to make these comics have a familiar feel to them, and when you're reading a story about Captain America fighting for Hydra, sometimes a familiar storyline helps to keep your head straight. Number 8. There's a new superhero team in town, the Underground. After Cap traps most of Earth's heroes either in the Dark Dimension or in space, there remains a select few who can fight against Hydra, including Spider-Man and Amadeus Cho's Hulk. Led by an AI version of Tony Stark, they seek to fight back against Hydra and bring Steve back, or die trying. This is a great team, partly because they're fighting for good in a world gone crazy, and partly because it's just a bunch of my favorite heroes. But sadly, this isn't the only team of heroes around. Number 7. Steve Rogers has his own set of heroes. Although I guess at this time they might be considered villains. Although Hydra's in power, so I guess as far as the world's concerned, they are the heroes.
Anakin, Chancellor Palpatine is evil! From my point of view, the Jedi are evil!
I don't know. As part of his great plan, Steve managed to brainwash a bunch of the Avengers and continues to use them to maintain his version of peace. These are the Hydra Avengers, and while it pains me that Steve has a team of superheroes at his disposal to do Hydra's dirty work, it does make for some pretty epic hero versus hero battles. That said, the Hydra Avengers are the only people being brainwashed, which brings me to my next point. Number 6. The citizens are being brainwashed too. When reading this series, it can be tempting to wonder how the regular members of the population are so okay with Hydra taking over, throwing out insane propaganda and changing school curriculum so drastically. Well, turns out they're being brainwashed too, with mind-altering substances in the water supply. This is done to increase docility and receptiveness in the masses, making them believe what they're told while making them less likely to rise up. It's definitely a great plan, but not the most ethical of schemes. Number 5. Cap still has some decency. While Captain America is working for Hydra, we do see several signs that the real Cap is still in there, especially early on. This is partially because he still has all the memories of the real Cap, he just thinks they're not true. But you really see how he works in meetings with the other Hydra members. Steve seems to truly want what's best for the people. For example, he pardoned rebel fighters to avoid having a prison state and to bring the people together, even though his allies disagreed. He thinks he's doing the right thing. Hopefully soon he'll learn what the right thing actually is, because as the issues continue, I'm starting to worry about him. He's kind of being a monster. But there is some light at the end of the tunnel with this next point. Number 4. There's another Steve Rogers. At the end of Secret Empire number 2, our world was yet again turned upside down, when the suspiciously strong and suspiciously blonde man we'd been seeing turned out to be Steve Rogers trying to get home. We're not sure who it is, but my goodness do I hope it's 1602 Cap. It'd be amazing to have him finally make his way back to his own time. Kinda unlikely though. I don't know for sure what all this means, but I think there's a good chance that this Steve may end up replacing the evil Steve Rogers. I just can't really see Hydra Cap coming back from some of the things he's done, least of all the next few points. Number 3. He made Deadpool kill Agent Coulson. I know. We were all heartbroken watching Coulson die in the films, and his revival in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. only softened the blow, but now he's been killed in the comics too. Coulson was getting too close to figuring out that Cap was working for Hydra, so Steve ordered Deadpool to kill Coulson on sight, and he saw him and killed him. Now, it's possible that it will turn out to be a ruse to fool Cap, or it'll get turned back to that cosmic cube, but it doesn't look so good. Number 2. He ordered the death of Bucky. This one hit Captain America fans pretty hard. To betray Bucky is to bid farewell to his past. Steve ordered Baron Zemo to take out Bucky and the Thunderbolts, who were hiding Kobik at the time. In case you're not all caught up, Kobik is the living embodiment of the Cosmic Cube. It's confusing. Anyway, Zemo destroyed them and strapped Bucky to a rocket, which I guess was supposed to be ironic or something. It was just super uncool, but when you spend as much time with Kobik as Bucky does, I think there's a pretty good chance that this isn't the last we'll see of him. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Kobik ends up just changing everything back. I'd be disappointed, but not surprised. Number 1. Hydra Cap is worthy of Mjolnir. This was probably the most shocking thing to come out of this storyline, other than the initial Hail Hydra. And it was really crazy. While Thor remains unworthy, the evil Hydra-worshipping Captain America seems to have been deemed worthy of the hammer, based on the final page of the Free Comic Book Day Secret Empire story. We're still not quite sure what it means, but Nick Spencer has confirmed it to be true. Personally, I think it's because he truly believes he's doing what's best for mankind. I think that one's actions mean less than the intention behind one's actions, at least as far as Mjolnir is concerned. But hey, what do I know? Hopefully we'll learn more soon. That's it for today. Hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please smack that gorgeous thumbs up button and subscribe to Top 10 Nerd for more videos. Do you like the Captain Hydra storyline, or do you hate seeing Cap working for Hydra? Let me know in the comments down below. Until next time, I'm Ron McKenzie LaFergie with Top 10 Nerd. Later, nerds.